Good morning. Good morning. Here we are live for Courageous and Free with Jacquelyn Mack. This is recorded as a podcast, but we are going live here on LinkedIn and YouTube and maybe some other social platforms if I'm feeling adventurous to tap into today. But the most important part of this is it will be recorded for iTunes and all the podcast distribution channels so that we can get this out to the masses and create massive income, impact, and fulfillment in the world. So today we are hopping right into different pieces of money and worthiness. It's been the whole theme for the month is your mindset around money and worthiness silently sabotaging your sales? Indefinitely. Like that shouldn't even be a question. It should be a statement because at the end of the day, what we're going to jump into this episode is just not the hidden beliefs that cause business owners to hesitate, undercharge, and struggle with objections and closing those deals, but also you as a buyer or you as a business owner or you as an investor into yourself and your business on where you hold yourself back from saying yes to that transformation or that thing or that experience or that result that you I don't even want to use the word desperately because desperate is the wrong energy, but you so desire and even more so deserve. So we're going to jump in to learn to ask the right questions, how to use active listening, how to deframe, how to reframe, how to shift both your mindset. This really should be a masterclass in its own, but it's a podcast, so you're welcome. I had so much I wanted to share today. So we're going to jump right in. If you're ready to unlock that confidence, not just behind your sales, but in your decision making, but indefinitely with your sales and helping your prospects say yes and helping your prospects actually say no if it's not the right fit. This is how we're going to break through all those limiting beliefs today. This episode is going to be so for you, and I'm so excited. So let's jump right into what I am starting to coin as the soulful sales. This is the soulful sales side of business, and it's the solid and consistent revenue growth that we all desire and we all deserve. Let's face it, right? This is why I even do what I do because I desired this a long time ago, but wasn't taught a lot of these techniques. I was taught some techniques that didn't feel good, that weren't in alignment. Did I still close deals? Yes. Did I make a lot? Oh, yeah, I made 20 plus K commission once I started practicing these disciplines, right? So first, let's jump in the first step here. The first, I guess, objective, the first talking point that I want to share with you today, the first piece that I want you to take with you no matter what is to just start noticing what you're noticing. None of this matters today. None of these tactics, which I'm going to share, I think 5, 7 or so of them. I don't know. We'll see what flows out. None of them matter until you start noticing what you're noticing. When you start identifying the roots of your limiting beliefs and how they impact your progress. And then when we start noticing what we're noticing in those limiting beliefs and like, wow, that's really blocking me from receiving more, experiencing more. Wow, I'm not allowing myself to have more of these conversations. That is step one. Awareness is always step one, but you can't just be aware. You have to be actively aware. What do I mean by that? Actively aware is when you notice what you're noticing and then you're like, wow, I just noticed that I'm identifying that as who I am and how I do things. It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It just is. But is that stopping you? Is that blocking you? And for many of us, we're like, no, look how far I've come. Look how successful I am. Great. But I want more. I just had a conversation with a beautiful lady yesterday where she was like, wow, I went from 4K months last March to 30 plus K, almost 40K before March of this year. And I can see how we're going to be consistent with that, but I'm not where I want to be. And it's overwhelming and I'm exhausted. And I'm frustrated. I'm like, do you even realize how many people would be stoked to be at 10K months consistently, 15K months consistently? And you're not even celebrating the fact that you're at 30K months consistently? The reason she was overwhelmed and frustrated, she didn't have a proven structure, system, and process in place to assure that that was going to be consistent. It looks consistent, but she's like, I am exacerbating my network. I am, banking on a referral, and I'm not actively giving referrals if I'm not actively asking for referral. Like, there's so much to it. It can be so simple structure, simple process. But she was identifying herself as the limiting belief. Yeah, it's $30,000, but I'm not at 100 plus because I want to make $1 million this year. I want to be at 3 million in 3 years and I want to sell. Those are the conversations I have. And it's so fun because it's all possible, but not with what's blocking between our ears. When we don't notice what we're noticing, we don't identify the roots of our limiting beliefs. Because what I like to say, you are going to notice these limiting beliefs. You're going to say, this is just the way life is. Or you're going to say, this is just who I am. Or are you able to step into the courage? This is why it's called courageous and free. When you step into courage, freedom is activated. When you're disciplined in courage, freedom is part of your norm. It's not luck. People are like, you're so lucky. Yeah, come into my world. My energy feels lucky. Things will happen when you say yes and you work with me. But it's not because of me. It's because what's activated with you and it's energy exchange. It's so cool. And there's so much cool science that support this day and age, which doesn't make me sound like a Looney Tune when I'm talking about it, right? And even if I do, even if everyone's like, oh my gosh, hit stop, I'm done. That's fine. You're not my people. Not everybody is someone who would want to be in my world. There are so many people out there, I don't want to be in their world. And that's what makes it a great place to be. We don't have to make it mean anything. So when you step into your courage, you say, hey, there has to be something different or better. I call this the propelling beliefs. They're rooted and anchored in possibility and potentiality. And it has nothing to do with how hard you perform or all the credentials behind your name, but everything to do with belief system that's anchored in your soul. This is why soulful sales is the only way to have that solid, consistent revenue for growth. Number 2, I want to share today. So I can go on and on and on about that, but if you want more and you want to go deeper and you want to work through it, jump into Sales Codes. Sales Codes is always available as a self-study course. And you will definitely get a return on investment at least a few times over. If not, I will coach you for free. There's guarantees with this. There's always guarantees because I have nothing to lose and everything for you to gain, but you have to do the work. You have to put in the reps. You have to show up and put in the reps. It's like if you want to build a beautiful bicep, you can't go lift heavy weights for one day, build a beautiful bicep. No, you consistently rest and recovery, build, rest, and then you have a beautiful bicep. When you stop, the muscle will go away, right? Muscle fatigue. Same thing with mindset, same thing with beliefs, which are just your thoughts repeated over and over. But again, we're not our beliefs and we're not our thoughts. We're just experiencing them. We have these thoughts and they create a feeling, which is why I'm jumping into number 2, the power behind my power prompts. Yes, the power prompts are important because when I talk about this, you're reframing your setbacks. You're celebrating mistakes. When you use the power prompts, it's actually power prompt number 3. Every month, use these 7 prompts. It takes 20 minutes of your time. It gives you the tools to do with this. Identify, pivot, reset, reframe, celebrate the mistakes, learn something, fail forward. I'm not going to go into a lot of this because I talk about my power prompts all the time and always at the end of the month because I'm like encouraging you to remind you to hold you accountable to receiving the benefits of actually using the damn prompts. 20 minutes, people. I'm not telling you to do push-ups for 20 minutes, telling you to use the power prompts. Right, enough with that. Power prompts are available. Grab them. They're a link in my bio. The third piece I want to share with you today is the role of perseverance and breaking through the mental roadblocks. I did a whole podcast episode on this. Go back and listen to it. Actually, I probably have a couple on perseverance. It's consistency. Don't overthink this. It's the consistency in the small things that continue to give you those small results. They compound. Next thing you know, you went from a 4K month to 30K months consistently. But are we celebrating that, right? It's the consistency and real trust, real faith in yourself and your structures and your frameworks. Now, again, don't become insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Are you using the power prompts every month to make sure your perseverance is on track and insanity doesn't step in? See how these all play a part together? Identifying the roots of your limiting beliefs, noticing what you're noticing, using propelling beliefs of possibility and potentiality while you're using the power prompts, while you're persevering and being consistent. There will not be roadblocks that happen more than once when you use just these top 3 things. And if they are happening more than once, then you and I need to hop on a quick laser coaching call, because it's just one breakthrough away from that. 4th thing I want to bring up today is tools for replacing limiting beliefs. I'm going to give you, 3, if I'm generous here, 5, so 6, I don't know. We'll see what I'm going to roll off here, because at the end of the day, this is why I created this episode. When you know you have something to actually use, walk away from this episode today and put these into play. Pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, pick them all, and use them to replace your limiting beliefs. This is how reframing your money beliefs, reframing your marriage beliefs, reframing your freedom beliefs, reframing any belief with evidence-based proof. That's the first one. Evidence-based proof. So let's just say your limiting belief is high ticket sales. High ticket sales offer, let's say you're afraid that it's going to scare people away. If I charge more than this, no one's going to buy. I should charge less. How many of you have had that go on and on and on? I've had family members, I've had friends say, oh my gosh, you charge that much? Like, what are you doing for them? And I'm like, changing their life through sale? Yeah. Do you realize when people are actually better salespeople and they're not slimy and they're serving people, they're helping them have a breakthrough or a transformation that results in them either having their health back or their more money in their life, and they can do more and they can be better people, and they have the most generous people have more to give. I wholeheartedly believe that. That's why I practice generosity. That's why I practice gratitude, right? So this one was big for me. That's why it's number 1, reframing your money belief with evidence-based proof. So let's say you're like, again, my high ticket sales offer will scare people away. I need to charge less. Okay, let's use the empowering truth, the propelling belief, right? The right clients see my high ticket investments as a sign of value and commitment. And thank God I found you now before wasting more time and money, because we can't buy back time, right? And we can invest into things that aren't going to give us what we really want unless we know that it's going to work. But how do we know it's going to work unless we do the thing? That's why I said a sign of value and commitment. Decision can happen all day. You can decide to do things all day and never do the thing. Action happens when you're committed to the thing. So what are you committed to? I offer guarantees with all of my one-on-one clients, and I will coach them for free until we hit what we said we both were intentionally setting out to do together, right? But it's a mutual agreement and then a commitment. It's not, hey, this is what I want from you, you better deliver, or no. It's an agreement between 2 people, right? So here's a tool you can use to reframe your money beliefs, right? Proof of value, right? Proof of value. Get out a journal where you document your success stories, your testimonials, your wins. I have so many screenshots just from even chatting with people in the DM, people that weren't even clients, where a few things I said or a few things, tips I gave them, are a PDF, and they're like, holy moly, this is doing wonders. I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but I don't need you yet, or maybe never at all. Great. That just freed up more space for somebody else that does need. I use need loosely because nobody needs my coaching, but everybody deserves to experience it if they really desire specific results, because I believe what you desire, you deserve, and it's divine. Or it's not a desire. It's just, maybe I want this, maybe I don't. And that's okay too. But get clear on that, or you're going to be wavering in your decision-making. So you grab a proof of value journal. You document your success stories, your testimonials, your wins from past clients. And every time you doubt your pricing, visit these to reinforce your worth. Visit them, because we're going to doubt. We're going to feel imposter syndrome. And if you're wondering like how to even overcome that because you're still paralyzed by it, I have a free download on that PDF too. Go grab it. All right. The next rewiring tool, I'm like, why did I say number 2 here? Because that was the very first one. That's the very first one. Here we go. We're live. Rewiring worthiness through identifying shifting. Identifying shifting where you're placing what? Your identity. So this goes back to the very beginning. We have to identify but we don't claim that's who we are as an identity. What do I mean by this? Let's say you have a limiting belief. I need more certifications. I need more experience before I can be seen as an expert. So certifications, no. Experience, I feel like a little bit. Like, what level of an expert are you? Because I've heard the term expert gets thrown around all the time. Like, you can be a novice, you can be an expert, and then you can be a master. That's my idea of understanding and perception that I like to use. That makes me feel like I'm in integrity, right? I do not know how to fly a plane. I'm novice of driving, certain boats or sailing. I'm an expert at certain things in life. I think I'm becoming more excellent at being a parent. I'm an expert at being a community service provider and best friend. And I'm masterful with sales, and I'm masterful with how I just show up and kind of love and empathize unconditionally. But you better believe there's going to be some truth to be shared. Like, if I feel it and I hear it and I'm like, again, your definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over. I feel you going through this victimhood. So when you say you need more certifications, you need, 10 more years experience, that's crazy. And that's what held me back for a long time. I'm like, oh, I should probably go get my master's. I should probably go write a book. I should maybe get now my PhD. Or I studied NLP, but that's not enough. I need another certification in somatics. And I'm like, okay, well, I have 10 years of this, but I have 20 years of sales. Maybe I need, 10 more years of business growth before I could. I'm like, no, rewire the worthiness. Because here's the empowering truth. Results matter more than resumes. Write that down. Results matter more than resumes. People invest into you and your services because of results. That they say they want to know how, just because their mind logically wants to think, okay, if I understand the how, then I'm certain the results will happen. But if we can be certain in our conviction that the results happen, I just don't know when, because I don't know how much you're going to be committed to this. I'll probably be more committed than you are. But the results are going to happen. And if we miss it by a day, are we going to be mad? No. Results matter more than resumes. And my experience is my expertise. And that's my ability to create transformation. And it's in sales, it's in business. But what's more so exciting is the internal work that nobody wants to do the work in, right? It's like everybody loves how they feel after yoga. But why can't people be consistent with doing yoga? I'm calling myself out right now because I haven't done yoga this week. But my body loves yoga. And when I'm done doing yoga, it feels so good. So here's a tool. Write a future self statement. Write a future self statement as if you've already achieved your next level. This is part of the vision casting that I do. I can pop you onto a activate and create laser coaching call. We can do a vision casting for all areas of your life. So we look at the 4 major areas, and most importantly, time freedom, money freedom, and fulfillment. And you start to practice. You read it daily, but that's one thing. Everybody's going to tell you to read it daily. I'm going to tell you today, don't just read it daily. Read it till you feel it daily. You're like, what does that mean? Then let's jump on a call. Because if you keep reading it and you're not feeling it, you're going to be frustrated. No feeling equals frustration. I know, because I've been there too. My clients have been there, and I've picked them off the floor, and I'm like, it's okay. Well, I don't know how to feel. Yes, you do. You're just stuck in your baggage right now. So feeling it daily is a requirement. If I haven't hammered that in enough, you have to feel it. You must. It's required to shift from imposter syndrome to that confident authority. All right. Another reframe is overcoming fear of selling with perspective shifting. So let's not get in the boxing ring of objections, which a lot of my clients come to me and I listen to their calls. I'm like, whoa, you beat that person up. No wonder they said no, right? Ego got in the way, or you didn't uncover this, or you didn't do that, but you did this, and this. Great. So let's not lose that mental memory, and let's add this in. Let's try this next. Let's pivot. Let's put this in and replace this, right? So your limiting belief could be selling feel slimy, pushy. I don't want to pressure people, and I'm probably pressuring people because I feel the pressure because I'm trying to hit a certain goal. Okay, it's a limiting belief. You really don't have to have the pressure to hit the goal. So the truth is, selling is serving. Period. Selling is serving. If you're out there getting people, if you're out there trying to get people to do something, nobody likes to go get people, first of all. Like, that's why you probably have an unhealthy relationship with sales. You're like, I feel like I'm getting people and I don't want to get people. I don't want to bamboozle. I don't want to be slimy. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be pressury. Yeah, me neither. Yet nobody likes to be gotten. How many of you have been on the other side of sales, purchasing something, investing into something, and you feel like, oh, they got me. They totally got me and I don't feel good about it, but I really want what they're telling me they're going to give me, but now I don't trust them because they got me in a way that just didn't feel good. So this is where I'm helping people. So selling is serving, and I'm actually helping people solve a problem that they're struggling with. That's your job as a professional, to help them say yes, to get out of the situation that they're in and to experience so much more. Health, vitality, wealth, relationship, abundance, freedom, discipline, fulfillment, all the yummy things that all of us are doing as service providers. So here's a tool. Before every sales conversation, use a client-centered sales structure. What does that mean? It could be a script, sure, but I tell you, like, a script is training wheels, but the script has to be based off a structure. I have my structure is greater than script PDF that everybody receives free right now for those who jump on the Sales Momentum to Mastery Live, 10 a.m., most Tuesdays, most Thursdays. Get on the link and reserve your spot. 1 Zoom room, 10 people, laser coaching, and you get this structure. And you're going to be focusing on the deep question. You're going to learn how to active listen. You're going to learn how to step into your conviction. Convincing will be a thing of the past. It will not be who you are, and nobody will associate you with that. And then you're shifting that focus from closing to guiding clients to what? Decision mastery. They feel really good. You can feel really good making a decision and still be a little nervous. I mean, it's not just services. It's like, oh, we bought that house. It's a bigger house and it costs twice as much as our last house. Wah! And then you live in the house and you're like, oh, I'm so glad we did that. And then you buy the boat and you're like, oh, what's in that boat? Should we got a cheaper boat? But we paid in full for that boat. Wah! I love all the memories we're making on this boat, and that payment is almost done. And then I bought this car, and oh my gosh, I almost crashed the car, and I don't even know how to drive the car. The car drives itself. And now it's just like, it's part of your everyday life. And when you get ketchup on the seat and it's white, you don't care. It's because it's a car. So let's hop into, I'm going to do 3 more. I'm being generous today. Feeling really generous. Let's give you 3 more. But don't let this overwhelm you to where you don't take action on any of these reframers, right? Take the reframe and use it. Pick one of these. This one might be the one that anybody can use. Again, business owner, a consumer, a family member, flipping that fear into fuel with evidence-based affirmations. What do I mean by this one? Let's say your limiting belief is, what if I fail? You'll hear me whisper, but what if you fly? What if no one buys? What if no one buys today and everybody buys tomorrow? It's like you could what if yourself into lack, doom and gloom, weigh you down, extra baggage, I call it. Or you can what if yourself into potential possibility. Oh, well, what if it turns out better than I thought? What if I have a waiting list now? And well, that could freak us out. That could turn into fear. Oh, I have a waiting list. What do I do with the waiting list? I don't know what to do with the waiting list. So here's the empowering truth. Every successful entrepreneur faces challenges. Notice I said successful entrepreneur faces challenges, because every person that I call a entrepreneur, which I dabbled there for a while, I dabbled between being an employee and a entrepreneur for a hot second. And I can tell you it was the dumbest thing I could have done, but yet the best thing I could have done for my personality and who I am, and it actually growed me because I was failing forward faster because I had some certainty in my life and I wasn't stuck in fear all the time. I didn't have the pressure to close. And it felt really good. So this is where it's like your journey, your story. Let's write this together, because every successful entrepreneur faces challenges. Oh, that means every successful entrepreneur has failed multiple times. Has fought, even the mega successful bazillionaires, look at how many had to file bankruptcy a few times. If that doesn't wake you up. What matters is how you respond and keep going, perseverance. And I'm using the word respond and slowing way down because we are in a world where we react and we're inundated and something dings and something grabs our attention and something else distracts us and something else distracts us and then a thought distracts us and then we make it mean something and then get another distraction and the kid and then the call and then the husband and the client and how are you responding? And how are you keeping going with the thing? Because no matter what, there'll be what ifs all day. But what did I say earlier? Commitment is the key to consistency. So here's a tool. Create a win and lessons log or journal, whatever you want to call it. Win and lessons log. So you record every sale, every breakthrough, every lesson, every setback, every win. So this is every sale, guys, and every lesson in one log. So that when fear creeps in, it's like, oh yeah, look, I got all this in one day and the next day and the next day. Oh, wow. And what did I think about that then? Oh, wow. Can I think about that now? Can I reactivate that? Oh, can I go back and integrate that? Can I start to embody that again? Because I got a little loosey-goosey and quote unquote off track. Because when fear creeps in, because it's going to, it's not if it's going to, it's when, we have to go back and revisit it, reinforce the resilience, the confidence, the courage. It takes a lot of courage to be resilient, to be confident. That's the prize when you use courage and bravery, right? Now, there's an NLP technique called revisioning and re-imprinting. Some people call it re-imprinting. And I go deeper into this in sales codes, but it's a deeper belief change work that I have made into my own model, but I'll give you the science-based model as well. And it's in sales codes and it's super powerful when you're revisiting, re-imprinting, revisioning a mistake. And I have a lot of my clients practice this in the evenings. In the evenings when the day is done and they're going through their gratitudes of their wins and their challenges, and they pick one. You don't have to pick them all because that can be exhausting and you'll never get to sleep. Pick one and use the revisioning technique, and it's mind-blowing how things change. Okay. Oh, wow. We are taking up a lot of time today. So we're going to truck along. Going to give you one or two more. Yeah, I'm going to give you two more really quick. Releasing the perfectionism, because I'm a recovering perfectionist that I am working on trying not to identify with, but at times it gets me what I want. And at times it holds me back from what I want, right? So your limiting belief around this is I can't launch until everything is perfect. I have a partner right now that wants to do a masterclass together. And I'm like, sure. But as we keep meeting, it feels like there's more to-do list things to do. I'm like, let's just do the damn thing. Let's do the bare minimum and do the damn thing and see how it goes. And let's do it with excellence, right? So the empowering truth is success comes from action, not perfection. Clarity follows execution. So take action, you'll get more clarity. Well, I feel like I need more clarity before I can take action. No, you don't. That's a limiting belief. Now, you might need to know a little bit, but not at all, right? So just like ready is not a feeling, it's an action. So here's a tool you can use. You use this tool every single time and it will help you. Like, you can, I'm going to give an example of a beta tool. There's actually a couple with this one. Do a beta version of your offer. Refine it based on the real feedback. Do the market research method and see from that feedback, what could be some gaps that maybe you didn't see that your clients are like, oh, I really wanted this, didn't really want that. And you're like, oh God, thank goodness I didn't build that all out yet. Don't wait till it's perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. This is how I built my 5-week sprint. I used to call it the activation accelerator, blah, blah, blah. And it was just so convoluted. I'm like, no, it's a 5-week sprint to reboot your ROI. Very simple. Everybody wants more ROI. Everybody would love to do it in a 5-week sprint and make it be duplicatable and consistent, right? So what I did is I got the first 5 in at a ridiculous investment, and I could keep my normal investment at a no-brainer. And then I realized, for example, a couple things that I needed to tweak and pivot, and one major thing to add, sales codes. So now if you want to jump in the 5-week sprint, you get sales codes. You basically get sales codes for free and all my coaching. Or you can say you get sales codes and you get my coaching for 5 weeks for free, which again, it's not going to piss off my one-on-one clients because they get that and more, and it's one-on-one and they get me for long-term. They're in. When my one-on-one caps out between 5 and 7, There is no more room. So if you love me in a 5-week sprint and my one-on-one is capped out, now we have to wait, or now we start a mastermind, right? All right, reprogramming sales. Reprogramming sales what? Reprogramming sales rejection. This is going back a little bit to reframing, but it's a redirection. So limiting belief, if someone says no, it means I'm not good enough or my offer isn't valuable. Lie, lie, lie. The empowering truth is no is not personal. I had to learn this the hard way, and it really ate away at my soul. It actually burned me out and my nervous system because I am an empath. I care about people. I'm a recovering people pleaser too. Yeah, triple threat. So no is not personal. No is not personal. Write that on a sticky. No is not personal. And the right clients will say yes when aligned. It's not your job to convince them. Actually, that's icky. Don't do that, please. As a professional, you help them say yes. You help them pivot. You help them shift their perspective. You help them have a breakthrough before they pay you. And if you help them see, like, do you really desire this result, or is it like a nice to have, or is it a priority? Expect the yes, detach from the outcome. Expect the yes, detach from the outcome. Expect the yes and detach from the outcome, because it's always this or something better. So here's a tool. This one's fun. It's a tracker, right? It's a no tracker. So don't take it as don't track. This is a no tracker reframe sheet where every rejection is logged and there's a lesson learned. Maybe the lesson learned is I made it be personal and it wasn't. This person said this and this is going on in their life. No wonder they really want it to help their family, but no wonder it's not a priority because their family's the priority, right? Every no, challenge yourself to find one key insight or one improvement in your process. One way to be a better active listener, a better quality question asker. Could you have asked a better question at some point, or many points most of the time? Could you have asked them to clarify? Could you have confirmed? Could you have agreed a little more? Could you have checked in to see if they were even active listening when you were pitching? Did you overwhelm them in the pitch? Did you tie down before you money dropped? Did you close them before you money dropped? Like, these are all things I cover in sales codes, and it's in the structure of a sales call as well. Remember, we're selling a service, not a Gucci bag. So is it a priority or a nice to have? All right. So that's, I think, 5 or 6 reframing tools. Please pick one and use it. Please pick one and implement it, or all of them. But don't try to do all of them and then let it delay you or block you from actually getting on your calls and implementing, right? Nothing changes till there's implementation. There's activation, then there's implementation or integration, and then you embody it. Okay, there were a couple more things I wanted to say, or points on this talk. So I'm going to fly through these because I don't want to do another episode, to be honest, on this. So here we are. Are you seeing the importance of needing to reframe? That's number one, right? Being able to reframe for your own limiting beliefs and for your prospects, right? Especially for your prospects. You can be a little messy with your own, but if you don't master how to do this with your prospects, then you're going to leave a lot of money on the table. Again, this is in sales codes, and this is what we really dive deep into, shifting and pivoting and reframing for you in the 5-week sprint. Hence why it's called a ROI reboot. All right. Of course, last week we spoke about how your beliefs as a business owner around money and worthiness are infectious to your prospects. They're contagious. They will rub off on them, even on a virtual call. So you have to understand that and know how to shift your own. That is critical. All this other stuff is great, but if you're not aware of this, you're going to drive yourself bonkers. You're going to drive yourself bonkers. So, like, again, your limiting beliefs that maybe you don't even realize are limiting. They're just beliefs, or maybe you're not aware or noticing your beliefs, which was, like I said at the very beginning of this episode. They're contagious. And you can go back to another episode where just last week I talked about money beliefs, right? Power questions, how to ask deeper quality questions to uncover what? The prospect's real objection. The real objection is going to be a limiting belief or a limited perception. So it's our job to help them shift that if this is what they really, really want. And I say really, really want because really, really want is a desire. A not really, really want is just a want. And that's not going to be enough for their will to want to move forward. The importance of active listening, which is what most people miss, and it costs them thousands each week, thousands on the table because they don't know how to active listen. They just want to get on a call and pitch because they're like, I know you need this. I know you want this. Let's go. Great. Take that energy and excitement and use active listening first, right? And watch conversion rate go from 20% to 50% or 40% to 75%. I see it all the time. And then I can't stress this enough, the reframing again. That's why I spent so much time. That's why I gave you 5 to 6 different examples to reframe your objections, helping your leads, your prospects see like the investment as a decision of what? Empowerment. Oh, this is scary. I've never invested this much before. Well, do you think that's maybe why you're stuck or where you're at? Or have you seen like what it's costing you? What it's going to continue to cost you by doing what you're doing or doing nothing at all? It's going to cost you even more. Now, if you're okay with that, I'll be okay with that and we can just part and be friends. But if you're not, it's my job to help you. Not just want you to say yes, but I'll help you right now. Because if you don't say yes right now, I just blocked your transformation. But if you block your own transformation, I can sleep okay at night, right? So I'm going to leave you with all that. Like I said, we have the Sales Momentum to Mastery live workshop. If you're struggling with inconsistent sales, if you're truly looking to get to the raw and real about what's working and what's not working and what's holding you back, on my LinkedIn last week, I had a really good experience with a couple ladies and like their biggest breakthrough that they thought they were going to get like something completely different. And they're like, wow, it was this that was blocking me. I don't want to give it away because I'd love for you to just go hear it from her. And if you're thinking that your leads are having the limiting beliefs or you're blaming your leads for their circumstances or they're blaming their circumstances, how can you overcome that? Then join me. Join me at 10 a.m. But the only way you can do that is click on the link. Click on the link, hold your seat, and actually show up. Please do not click on the link and hold your seat and do not show up. You will not be allowed to come back because I really value my time and I really give generously in these. And anybody who wants the replay has to show up. Anybody who wants the structure of a sales call has to show up. If you have to leave early, that's fine too. Just show up. Commit. Don't just decide. Commit. And I'll send you off with so much love. Until next time, bye for now.